You can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down, or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. If you would like to listen in a still position, you can let yourself take all the time that you need to arrive there and really allow yourself to fidget or adjust or stretch or move in whatever ways your body wants to move. You just do your best to not think about the movements at all or worry about what the movements look like, but just coming more fully into your sense of feeling and following those yummy sensations that you might feel when you do some neck rolls or some side body bends, torso twists, cat-cow motions with the spine. Just anything at all that feels good in your bones, muscles, and joints. Trusting your body's own instincts with movement and trusting what feels good for you right now. And if what feels best for you right now or at any point is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. And so if you would like to listen in a still position, you can take all the time you need to arrive there. But if you haven't already and would like to, you can make your way there now. And just checking in that your spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow your eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you now take a moment to mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full and intentional cleansing breath. Just calling in fresh new air into the body as you almost watch yourself fill up with air to every corner and edge of you, getting as full as you can. As you just hold that for a moment once you are full to really sit and experience that sense of fullness in the body. And then as you need to, without straining, slowly letting it all go. As you exhale bit by bit and gently pull the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment here to now sit and experience this sense of emptiness in the body. And allowing your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And you can continue to breathe in this slow, intentional, and exaggerated way for as long as it feels good and helpful to you. Just consciously slowing down the process of your breath, the 4 parts of the breath. Your inhale, the pause at the top of the inhale, followed by the exhale, and that pause at the bottom of the exhale. Not worrying about the actual length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just letting each of the 4 parts of your breath be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. So when the body would naturally stop inhaling, just seeing if you can expand your rib cage, maybe even your back or your belly. Expand your body just a little bit more to take in 1 more moment's worth of air. And then when you would naturally roll over to your exhale, just seeing if you can hold off on that for 1 extra moment and stay with a bit more intention in that fullness. And then as you exhale, even once you think you're empty, seeing if you can get a tiny bit more air out of you. As you again pause for an extra moment in that emptiness. As we again consciously slow down the process of our breath. Therefore, communicating to our nervous system that right now is a time to slow down and to let go. And again, you can continue to breathe like this for as long as it feels good. But at any point, if you haven't already, you may release this guidance over your breath altogether and allow yourself to step, almost feeling like you're stepping back and up in your mind and into the role of the observer or the witness. As you remind yourself that our breath is the one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. And so letting go of that voluntary guidance we just had over the breath, as you now simply observe the automatic process of your body breathing you. The same way your heart beats for you. The same way all of your organs work for you without any of your direction or doing. And seeing your breath and all of your body's natural functions as the force of nature that they truly are. And if you imagine the energy that you might feel when you witness any other force of nature, maybe when you're laying on the beach and watching the waves roll up along the shoreline, or maybe looking out at a landscape, at some mountains or at a river, and how you don't try to change anything about what you are witnessing, but you are simply witnessing, watching as each wave comes and goes. Maybe noticing the size and the speed of each wave, but not trying to change it, but just allowing it to be. Allowing yourself to be exactly as you already are. As you now remind yourself that this practice and any form of healing practice is not about ignoring the bad parts of how you feel or the negative aspects of life right now, but it is about showing up for yourself and for life exactly as it already is, which will always be some combination of what we call good and bad, of what we call positive and negative, and all the feelings in between those two extremes. And so it is okay if you showed up today and are not feeling your best. Maybe if you are in physical pain even, or emotional, mental pain. That is okay. And when we experience pain and suffering in life, it does not mean that we've done anything wrong. It does not mean that we are being punished or that we are bad. It simply means that we are human. And what comes included in being human is the human experience. And the human experience will always contain the full range of human emotions, experiences, feelings, and everything that life includes. And so we are not meant to feel good and bright and whole and connected and wonderful all of the time. And if we did, we wouldn't even notice that we are feeling good. Because when good is the only way we feel, that becomes normal and mundane. And so what we really feel when we are feeling good and whole and inspired, connected, is the contrast between the opposing feelings. And so we can learn to have an appreciation for the low points in our life, the same way we have an appreciation for all the joys that we have in life. Because the joys would not exist without the lows. And the one thing that we can all count on is that everything changes, especially how we feel. And so you are allowed to feel fully whatever it is that is here for you to feel. And just trusting that the way that we can truly move on from our emotions and what we are feeling is by allowing ourselves to feel them. When we feel those heavier emotions bubbling up within us, instead of pushing them back down and ignoring them, where they will only become further embedded within you and control your actions more insidiously, what we can instead do is allow them to arise from within us when we are in a safe place and allow them to release outside of us in whatever way they need to be released. Whether that be through tears, through screaming into a pillow, punching a pillow, going for a run, maybe laughing, crying until you're laughing, whatever it is that your body needs. Allowing yourself those releases. Because history tells us that you will not drown in your sorrows, you will not be crushed by them, but you will feel them and move on. And all of the good things that you will experience in the future, all of the joys that you will experience, are already on their way to you right now. And so we can hang on through the difficult phases of life with that in mind. And sometimes when it's really, really difficult to be present with our own pain and suffering, we are allowed to comfort ourselves in whatever way we need to comfort ourselves to make it to the next moment, to make it to the next day, to the next week or month. Because every single storm runs out of rain. And that is a guarantee. No matter how long the storm lasts, it will run out of rain. And the sun will shine once again. And even in the midst of the biggest storm, the sun never stops shining. It is still shining behind those clouds. It's still shining in the middle of night on the other side of the world. It is still there. And the spark that is within us, our souls, the soul that enters our bodies when we are created and leaves our bodies when our bodies expire, that is just like the sun. And in Hellenistic astrology, the sun is the representation of our soul and the spark that animates our body, while the moon is the representation of our physical body, our bones, muscles, joints, everything in between. And just like the moon, sometimes our bodies are fully illuminated by our soul. Sometimes we feel bright and whole and like a full moon, and like we are reflecting all of the light. And we can shine light for others in the darkness. And then other times, we are more like a new moon, where we are not reflecting any light. We are physically still here, but we are hiding in the shadows. And then there are all of those phases in between the new moon and the full moon. And when the moon is in the shadows, we don't look at the moon and assume that there's anything wrong with the moon, or assume the moon is being punished, or that it's done something to deserve being in darkness. We just know that that is a phase the moon will move through. And the moon is not meant to be a full moon all of the time. And we are the same way. We are meant to move through phases just like the moon and just like everything else in life. And we can let the phases we move through, or we can move through the phases with a lot more ease and grace when we accept that fact. And we trust that we are simply moving through the human experience. We are moving through life, which will always contain ups and downs and cycles. And flowers are not constantly blooming. The trees do not constantly have leaves. There are seasons of death and decay for everything in nature. And we will not escape those phases either. And so we can make these phase changes so much easier on ourselves just by that understanding. And just by allowing ourselves to move through the phases and not punishing ourselves further when we're feeling bad. And just trusting that the next phase is always right around the corner. So just take a moment now to let some of your awareness come to your face. And even with your eyes closed, just noticing any expression that you feel resting on the face. And making note of any emotions that could be communicated by this resting expression on the face. Maybe the brow is tense or the jaw is holding some extra tension. Maybe the nostrils are flared, or the chin or ears could even be holding some lingering tension. And just allow any awareness of any tension be all that you need to instead allow these areas to soften. Allow your jaw to hang into place and your tongue to release from the roof of the mouth. Allow your lips to rest softly on one another. As you feel that softness in your mouth, naturally allow your chin to relax even deeper. The nostrils, the cheeks, and the ears. Even all of those tiny muscles along your lash line that will scrunch up when you squint. Even feeling those soften. As you just allow your eyelids to rest softly on one another. Feeling your eyebrows and forehead naturally soften. As you even allow your gaze to be soft wherever it is that you happen to be looking. Whether that be at the world outside of you or at the world inside of you. Just softening your gaze. As you allow even your brain to rest in your skull. And feeling your entire scalp relax even deeper. As you now feel this sense in your entire head and face, this sense of acceptance, a sense of release, a sense of trust with your own anatomy. As you remember that you can trust your own anatomy. and that you do not need to hold yourself in any particular way right now. But when you let go and soften all of the muscles within you, everything is held exactly where it needs to be. Your skin holds everything intact. The support of the earth beneath you and gravity all around you holds you exactly where you need to be. And there is no doing that is required of you right now. This is not a doing or thinking process, but rather one of listening and feeling and receiving. Becoming curious about how you are right now and allowing yourself to be exactly as you already are, with the knowledge that that is constantly changing. So you can let some of your awareness rest now in your heart. As you start to tune in a little closer to the rhythm of your own heartbeat, to the steady background beat to your entire existence. From before you were even breathing air, from the time you were in your mother's womb up to this exact moment, this heart has been steadily pumping life and love into every inch of your body. And this heart will continue to do so for as long as you exist in this beautiful body of yours, that functions perfectly enough to keep you alive for all of these years, and it will continue to. As you just remind yourself of the pure gift that this heart truly is, that this body and this life truly is, and that there's nothing in particular that you have done to earn this beating heart, to earn this life. But it is a gift that has been given to you. And so you do not need to prove yourself worthy of this gift. You do not need to earn any more love or a life, because you have direct access to the source of all life and all love through your own body and through your own heart. Since you are alive, you are innately connected to the source of all life, along with everything else that is alive. And since energy cannot be created or destroyed, neither can you. And the essence of who you are will always be here and will always be connected to the source or force or whatever you believe in that all of life comes from. Even when we forget, even when it doesn't feel like it, that will always be true. Just like the moon, even when we're in the shadows, we are still here. And just like the sun, even when we're hidden by clouds and storms and darkness, we are still here and shining. Even if we don't feel the warmth, and even if you can't see the light right now, the sun will always rise again. And so will you. So you can continue to feel whatever is here for you to feel. Continue to soften your body physically around whatever it is you are feeling. As you listen to the following words that are written by young Pueblo in his book called The Way Forward. And just allow anything at all that feels like it resonates with you to soak in a little deeper and not worrying about the rest. Focusing on a few fundamentals can create a massive change in your life. 1, make healing, personal transformation, and well-being top priorities. 2, refrain from harming yourself or others. 3, create mental space for gratitude. And 4, be kind and generous to others. Shifting your focus to growth and inner evolution will not only decrease the tension in your mind, but also automatically change the way you relate to the ups and downs of life. The law of cause and effect is pervasive through this universe of mind and matter. Being generous in a balanced way does bring good results, but there is no telling when the fruit of your good actions will ripen. If you are dedicated to cultivating inner peace, it is essential to understand that the kindness you give to others will fundamentally support your inner clarity and calm. Beware of taking things to an extreme. Many of us have the tendency to push ideas to the point where they make us act in an unbalanced manner and narrow our thinking. Allow room in your mind for nuanced views and different perspectives. Understand that the solutions that worked in one area may not work in another. Life is very situational, meaning every circumstance will have a different set of conditions that calls for unique approaches. One size does not fit all. Your middle path will not look like someone else's middle path. A good idea will remain good only if it is applied in a balanced way. Balance is one of the keys to living a good life. Stop thinking better things come only when you act flawlessly. Get rid of strict time limits for accomplishing your goals. Say no when negativity tries to take your power. The ones who succeed are those who accept that the journey is long and who keep going even when things get hard. Healing is a deconditioning process that ignites personal transformation. To let go is to literally release old parts of ourselves. A difficulty many of us come across on our inner journey is being able to release our attachment to who we used to be. How we see the world, our preferences, our likes and dislikes, and much more will shift and morph as we align with the genuine expression of our inner evolution. We may at times feel odd when we outgrow the preferences we were familiar with. We may even feel a little lost when we realize that we have outgrown our old life. In these moments, it helps to remind ourselves that it is fine to have new favorites, new ways of expressing ourselves, new friends and new aspirations. To fully embrace growth, we must be willing to venture into the unknown. You are the key to your healing, not time. Hurt, trauma, and dense conditioning will continue sitting in your mind, impacting your emotions and behavior until you go inward. What heals is self-love, learning to let go, self-awareness, and building new habits. The future you needs your determination. Say yes to the hard things that make you better. Diligently build the habits that set you free. Unapologetically create a life of your own design. And every moment of effort enhances your vibrancy and sets you up for a majestic existence. The best days of your life can't happen without you there. Live with presence and live intentionally. So just take the next few moments to just allow each and every word that you've heard today and each and every feeling that you felt today to settle within you. As if every feeling and word was a little speck of glitter in a snow globe, and your body is that snow globe. And now is the time where we set you down, let the glitter settle, and let the air clear. And just trusting that anything at all that you heard today or felt today that really resonated with you or struck a chord with you in some way, just trust That those feelings can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. And so allow those deep truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition, to trust your own instincts, to trust that you already know all it is that you need to know and all it is that you need to do, if that's anything at all. And in life, if you ever come across a person or a group of people who try to convince you that you need them in order to connect to the ultimate source or spirit or whatever you believe in, or that you need some sort of translator, or you need someone to facilitate your connection to that source, you can just let that alone be a cue for you to turn your attention back inward and to fuel your own personal connection with that source, and to never give that power away to anyone else. Because this is a power that comes included in your life and in your body. And in those time periods of darkness, we all will go searching for someone else who has the answers that we seek. And there can be a lot of help that we get from others in those dark moments. But we never need to give all of our power away to anyone else. And nobody will ever know you, know your life, know your heart, know your passions and fascinations better than you. You are the only one who exists in your body, who perceives the world the way you do, who feels everything the way that you do. And so you can also reclaim this power at any time if you have given it away in the past. And you can trust the things that you are curious about. You can play more in those areas that spark your interest. The things that deeply fascinate you. The things that light you up and make you feel joyful and purposeful and connected. You are allowed to play more in those areas and to spend more time doing those things. Because I am sure that those are the things you are meant to be doing. We all have different interests. We all have different talents and purposes here on this earth and this life. And the things that you feel drawn toward, You are allowed to trust them, to explore there. And if you feel drawn towards something else, you're allowed to change your mind. And that's what our lives can really be about, is playing and exploring and becoming curious about what it is we are here to do. What do we have to contribute here? Because we all have something unique and special to offer. No matter how small or big the group you are offering to is. Maybe just one person or one animal. And that can make a world of a difference. And so if it feels like something you would like to do today, you can just let your hands come and find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you just feel this contact of your palms and fingers to one another, and allow your heart to lift toward your thumbs as your thumbs press back toward your heart. Tuning in once again to this rhythm of your own life. And taking a final, deep, full breath into the body, filling up to every corner and edge of you the most you have today. And as you exhale, letting go of anything at all that you are ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. As you take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and for taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.